All right, so we're back at it. After my screw up, I went back and I put a little bit of compound on it. And by compound, I mean clear fingernail polish. I'm sure they make compounds to do this, but it probably costs a lot. This don't. This is like 90 cents. I put a thin layer right across the back side of it. Make sure it ain't tacky. And I'm going to carry on with it. So, we're going to go back to our thread. And I did go out and buy what was recommended for the thread, which was a, I think it was called Denier. It's made for fly tying. I think right now the only thing I see that's different in it is it's like pre-waxed. So I don't know if you would have to go and spend the $2.99 on this spool, which is about all you get. I think it says 100 yards in here. If all you're doing is tying jigs with it, 100 yards should go a pretty long way, I would think. So now we're back to the beginning, being careful with our scissors to cut off our excess and to cut off that screwed up tag end. All right, now we're back to the beginning. So I'm going to put a little bit of flash in it, which this I got all at Bass Pro. And like I said, the materials for this weren't very cheap. Amazon will be where I go to get my stuff at from now on, now that I know what this stuff is, what it feels like, and what I'm actually looking for. I'm going to put that couple strands of, what's this stuff called? Silver tinsel. You can see it's just got a lot of sparkle to it, a lot of shine to it. You got to jig down deep. I believe it'll help that jig show up. You know, the dark colors down deep might not, but I'm thinking that tinsel probably will. So now that we got our thread base, feathers, our hackle, our tinsel, now we're going to use the body material, and I think I'm going to keep tying some more chartreuse ones like I was doing last night, which was this. It's type of Chanel. And on that I also bought at Bass Pro, which wasn't expensive, but there just wasn't much of it. And we're going to go take the thread all the way back up to the head. And then we're going to bring it back down again to the middle of the hook, or to the start of the hook. Right there. We're going to stop. We're going to take the end of that, pinch a little bit of it off to where you just got that little bit of string there. And we're going to start that on. And we're going to run that pretty tight back up to where the hook almost bends. And we're going to go all the way back down. Right to the start of the head. And we're going to take the Chanel and we're going to start pulling it tight. And like I said, you can see how tight I'm putting it on. You can see that jig head bending. The vise isn't moving, the actual hook is on the head. I'm going to go all the way down. Right to the head, and when I get to the head, I'm going to go one last time. I'm going to bring it to the other side of my thread, so that way I've got a nice knot getting ready to start there. And then that way I can wrap it more. And when I got that to where that's secure, and you can tell it's secure, it's not starting to come unraveled anywhere. Being careful with the scissors. We'll come back up here and we're going to cut just the end of that off. And there's our body to our jig. Then we're going to go 2 more tight wraps, and I'm going to stop. All right, this tool, called a whip finisher. It's a knot tire. It's a fancy way to make a knot. I watched 100 videos on YouTube on how to use this thing. This is the best I can come up with. You're going to hook your line, wrap it right there around that bend, holding on to it, put a little slack in it, pull your line up here parallel, and let go of your whip finisher. Bring it back down. See, I still ain't quite got it figured out. So let's do that again before I end up with a big old knot here. All right, holding on to the end of it, underneath. Yep. Let's put a little more tension on our jig. Right. Give ourselves a little more slack. And let's try it again. And I will guarantee you I did not do that right. But you know what? It took. So we're not selling them. We're testing them. Cut the thread off. And get out my fancy thing of compound here. Right there. Open it up. This tool here, I'm thinking, is the one that puts like for applying glue. So we're going to put just a little bit right there on the tip of it. And we're going to brush it right inside there like that. Then hopefully that way everything we got there is sealed and tied up. But as you can see, that's not that bad for just starting. Take it out. That's what we got. I'm happy with it. I like it. I think it'll catch crappie. I would buy them if I seen them in the store. Plenty of videos on YouTube on how to make them.